Hello everyone, my name is Razan. I'm a blogger from Syria. I cannot share my location in Syria for safety reasons. I'm gonna talk, I'm based in liberated areas. I've been living here, I moved in first in 2013. I've been here for 6 or 7 months. I want to talk about the liberated areas specifically, and how does it feel, or how does it feel to be a woman, an active woman in liberated areas, as well as what does it mean to be an active right now in the revolution. When I first moved in here, the village that I'm based in is very conservative. You don't find women active in the revolution who protest unless their husband or son was martyred, was detained. You don't find, for example, in Damascus, women formed groups to protest, to lead the demonstrations, to lead also relief groups used to smuggling medicine and aid to besieged neighborhoods. We don't find the same here in this area. Women are pretty much not active in the revolution here, but within specific, like maybe exception cases. So when I first moved in here, it was a bit difficult for people to digest the idea that a woman who's single, unveiled, to live here and to open a project. I'm running a psychosocial support project for kids. So, yeah, but people welcomed me gradually, and they started to ask questions. Why you're not veiled? How come you're single? How come you're not with your family? How come you're doing like men do, like you're part of the revolution? And I started to answer questions that people are different in a lot of areas in Syria that do have. For example, I started giving examples of pretty much what Moshe was saying in Damascus, and also in other areas in Homs and Daraya. I better close this window. Okay. So, it's been a bit. It's actually a battle for women to be single and unveiled. I mean, I'm the only woman in this whole province who's unveiled. I'm the only woman who's active, a revolutionary in this whole province. I'm not talking about I'm talking about a whole province. Things has been, I mean, the past 4 years of Assad's rule. That's how it marginalized pretty much a lot of cities in Syria, except with large capital cities like Damascus and Aleppo. And here is living in this village. It actually it gave me a reason why we should go on this revolution, to make people active in the roles, to fight what has been a status quo for so many years. Here there's no university, for example, there's no hospital. So, yeah. Also, when I want to talk about how in 1 year, in 6 months or 7 months, let's just say, how things have differed radically on the ground. When I first came here, I was moving around the villages, around the borders, from different cities, and going to Aleppo, for example, going to a lot of areas. I had no one person to question me why you're not veiled. This question has repeatedly been asked to. I've been asked this question this month 6 times. In 7 months, the Islamists, the extremists have been pretty much controlling. Their existence on the ground have been more powerful. In just this month, it was visible to me as someone who's like, my image itself, it's true, it's different from the context. but people will not tell me in my face why you're not, like, why don't you put the veil on? I was asked to put the veil this month for 6 times, and I think this show that, I mean, is in my perspective, when I hear the media, especially the Western media, talking about how Islamists is like controlling us. I don't think this was true. I mean, it appeared that it has been controlling my life the past year, but actually it hasn't been controlling me at all. For someone who's like me, living in this province, living in this village, I'm able to go to my home, to do my job every single day, to be as I am in this village, protected by several revolutionary groups here. Of course, I've been threatened. Several people have been threatened by Islamist groups here. But not in the same, not at all in the way that has been depicted in the media. The Islamists are getting stronger, yes, but actually this month is starting to get in October, starting to get visible. I want to talk a bit also about the economic situation in the liberated areas. There's no communication whatsoever. There's no mobile phones, no phones. I'm using satellite internet to connect to you. Satellite internet is very expensive. That's why people you have to have someone to donate the money for you to buy it and to use the internet. It's not a service for people to go on. That's why not many people in this village use the internet. Only some people who have connections. We buy the water to drink. We use generators to connect to power and to charge our laptops and also pretty much everything, to do our laundry and everything. There's no jobs at all. The siege is controlling us because if someone who wants to open a shop, he wants the goods to get in, either he has to get it from neighboring cities, which are controlled by the regime and ISIS checkpoints, which is very much dangerous to do so, or they have to get it from neighboring countries, and also they have to go and travel. So it's very expensive to open a shop. It's very expensive. People don't have money. That's why most of the young men are enrolling in armed groups to get money. That's one reason, one major reason why people, if they don't find a job, they can't go to Lebanon, Jordan, or Turkey. And which is, in these cases, is dangerous because the racism is happening in these countries against Syrian refugees and workers. So they have to enroll in our groups and get a gun and just fight to raise their family. The revolution here in this area is pretty much being smothered because you're talking about the 3 years war, escalating violence. Yesterday there was a MiG wandering around the sky above this village, and it was very, it can pretty much, the village goes numb. Everyone is like frozen, and everyone is on the street looking at the sky, wondering where it's gonna hit. It was wandering around, did not hit yesterday, but it hit the mountain near us. So it's free on the ground, well, except if you France, where the FSA is fighting the regime. Sometimes also you have threats coming from some Islamist groups, especially ISIS, and the shelling keeps coming from the sky, whether it's by airplanes or by helicopters or by tanks. It keeps coming over, so not many people are living here. You have people who didn't go to camps, they're still here. They say, okay, I can't go to camps, I can't afford to go anywhere else, I'm gonna just stay in my home and just wait for me to die. But I don't know how to describe. It's hard for me to describe how does it feel to live under shelling. It's a very difficult question. I don't want to say I want to get used to, because that's a very simplistic way of describing it. But you somehow you try to your self-mechanism grows in you. Try to deny it. Try to deny the fact that you're fighting against this shelling, but really the best way to go against it is just feel numb about it. People are still protest. Not many people protest in the villages, but some people do, and they try to tackle the problems in the revolution, especially when it comes to the foreign opposition, like our opposition that's in Turkey or in abroad. Finally, I want to talk about the NGOs that are playing major part in the region, because it's liberated. There's no regime. People can get in and out. They have a lot of money right now to fundraise for Syria. They have a lot of projects, the NGOs. What's happening is that ever since I came here, I've been offered thousands of dollars to leave my position here and just go and work for an NGO in whatever country, like a neighboring country. I was approached by several foreign politicians to talk to on the table. I don't know for what. It's crazy. Like it's been very evident that once you're a peaceful and violent activist, then you are pretty much can be seduced to thousands of dollars to leave Syria and go work for an NGO that has to do that's cooperating directly with a foreign country. Every single, but okay, not to say every single, most of the NGOs in Turkey are funded by foreign countries. You have the United States, you have Britain, you have Italy, name it. And all of these NGOs, they have specific trainees. They have to train us to form a civil society according to know what, to know who, and they want specific videos, specific information to get up. They want names, they want maps, and every single meeting of these NGOs, when they get the people from inside to Turkey, and they're always someone, either ambassador or I don't know, like someone like working for them for the embassy in whatever country. So it's kind of pretty much the NGOs now trying not to tackle the problem that Syria is on the ground, not to tackle the regime tyranny, the violations of human rights, as much as how these local activists who speak English, or they know how to use computer, how would they guarantee the interests of these foreign powers in Syria. What else? Yeah. I would want to talk, finally, if I have just 1 minute.
Yes, go ahead.
The people here, in order to move on, you're talking about villages who have right now, they're out of, when you're saying it's liberated, then you don't have whatsoever governance. You don't have like institutions to manage this village, to manage the cities. The revolutionaries are now forming new entities, new groups, new institutions to provide services for the people, and that's what the revolutionaries are doing. The revolutionaries are providing water, trying to provide medicine, forming hospitals, trying to connect with the outside world to get the fund to open schools, to open blah blah blah. All these things are now being managed by the revolutionaries. And also they're working on the media, they're working on protecting the village, they're working with the FSA, they're working with several groups to protect the area, not from the regime right now, but pretty much from the, the state non-actors, pretty much like the ISIS and others. So that paves the way for people like me to come in and participate in building the country now that the regime has left. The women in this village, now that there's a space for people to move, which is the revolution have given them this space. Now they're They have a center. They have a safe space. They're organizing. They're trying to find out what they can do. They're lobbying. They're just discussing their rights or their lack of rights. It's a new thing that is happening in this village. It has never happened before. Especially when I'm trying to describe how conservative is this area, and not much left space for women to move and to act. So the revolution has paved the way for new spaces to emerge, and women starting to lobby and to organize, and because the war has really smothered them, the women. But because of the revolution, and because of their seeing how the revolution has changed radically, the situation on the ground, they're trying to lobby now and trying to do something about their situation in their village. I guess that's all I have to say right now. Thank you.